All right, so we have a set of 4 banjos here that we're going to call them the Legends that were done in the Gibson Custom Shop over a couple-year period. And they're very special, one of a kind, never to be duplicated. And they can't be duplicated, actually, because some of the people that participated in this who have special skills are no longer with us. So it is a piece of history. And Greg Rich supervised these, and he was there in Gibson from '87 till either February or March of 1993, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to play these banjos. Now this one here, they all have a name. This is called The Beginnings, and I'll explain why it is in just a minute. So here's what it sounds like. Look at this banjo, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at the pot. We're going to look at the pot, the bottom of the banjo, and what you're going to notice a couple things. It has triple gold plating. It's much thicker than on a normal Gibson at this time, which means it's not going to wear off like some of those banjos wear off. And so here we have the just a plain tailpiece in this case, and we have a look at the armrest. You'll see there's some very heavy engraving on that. And of course, Gibson used their best people to do this, and it took a long time for them to produce these banjos. So now we're going to look at the side, and you'll see it's select maple, and look at all the engraving that you have there. Okay, and then we turn it over, and you see the flange, and even the flange is engraved. We'll do a close-up of that, of the flange, and even as we go through there, you'll see the top of the tension hoop is engraved. There's engraving everywhere on this banjo. Okay, so let's go up the neck first, and you'll notice that these banjos use patterns that look similar to patterns that you may have seen before, but they're much, much more elaborate because these were the original patterns, and I believe what happened was that Gibson simplified them for manufacturing reasons. Okay, so this banjo has a name of The Beginning, and why is that? Let's look. C.W. Mundy was a famous artist, and they commissioned him to do, I believe, and there could be another one, but I've never seen it. So there are actually 5 banjos. One was Uncle Dave Macon, who really has nothing to do with this bluegrass. And the others are the Legends of Bluegrass. So here we have The Beginning, which is Bill Monroe, Lester Flatt, Earl Scruggs, and Chubby Wise. And we'll do a close-up of that. Now this is actually a painting, and the detail in these is just extraordinary. C.W. Mundy was a very revered artist. Okay, so that's The Beginning, okay? Then, the next one, and we'll play this one, and here we go. Okay. Okay, so here's the second banjo, and I'll give you a clue. It's called Flatt and Scruggs, and when we do the close-up, you'll notice that it has a custom truss rod cover that is made out of pearl and tells what the banjo is. So let's hear this one. look at this banjo, which is gold, has the very deep engraving, triple gold, and you will also notice that the inlay on this particular banjo, not the inlay, but the engraving is actually a different pattern than the banjo that we just showed, which was the beginnings. Okay? So that is unique. And now we'll go up the fingerboard. And you'll notice, once again, it has a special inlay that was only done on very, very special Gibsons. And once again, these banjos are unique. There are none like it. And you can see the truss rod cover. Okay. And now, so here we go. Let's look at the back. So another C.W. Mundy painting. And the detail that he used on these is just, it's unbelievable that somebody could paint this accurately where it actually looks like a photograph. And anyway, so that would be Flatt and Scruggs. So we have Bill Monroe and Flatt and Scruggs, and then Flatt and Scruggs went on their own. And the other two very popular people who are legends of bluegrass, one would be Ralph Stanley, the Stanley brothers. And Ralph played a different style than Earl did that featured a lot more rolls. And he also played a raised head, and he had a what's called a Model 5, and it also had a two-piece flange. So his banjo has been somewhat duplicated here. So here's what it sounds like. This banjo, and we'll look at the front of it for a second. Tailpiece says Deluxe on it. Once again, all kinds of engraving on it. And the engraving, once again, is different than the others. And it says White Dove. White Dove was a song that the Stanley brothers played a lot, made popular. And so this banjo is called the White Dove. Once again, it's walnut, and you can see it has the wreath pattern inlays, which would be reminiscent of Ralph Stanley's banjo. We'll go up there. And then we'll look at the headstock, and you'll notice it's a fiddle cut headstock instead of double cut, which would have been what Ralph had, and also said master tone on the headstock. And then I'm going to turn the headstock around, and you'll see that there's some inlay in the back of the banjo right there, whatever you want to call that. And once again, it's walnut. And then you have another binding strip on the resonator and also on the neck. And I don't know if I showed you I don't think I showed you the engraving, so that's what it looks like. So every one of these banjos is unique and cool. Now, and here we have the Stanley brothers. Let's see if we can get a good picture. Get that one without all the studio lights in it. Okay, so there's the Stanley brothers. Ralph and Carter Stanley. All right, so that's that one. So we've seen Bill Monroe's band, Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs' band, Ralph and Carter Stanley, and last but not least was Reno and Smiley. And you'll notice that all these bands were driven by a banjo, and mostly hard driving banjo. And Don Reno in particular, which we'll talk very briefly about him. And I'll tune this banjo up a little more while I'll tell you about Don Reno. Now, Don Reno was actually a guitar player, a really good guitar player, and he developed a single string style on the banjo, which was kind of like playing guitar with the banjo. And I never really studied that type of playing. I'll tell you who knows how to do it really well is Charlie Cushman. He can play both Earl Scruggs style and Don Reno style. And he's probably the only person in the world can do it that well. Okay, so let's listen to this banjo for a second. So this particular banjo has a standard Granada engraving on it, and I don't know exactly because I didn't talk to Greg Rich, but in case you didn't know this, that Earl Scruggs banjo was a Granada, and that Don Reno originally had the banjo. So Don Reno played what is considered Earl Scruggs banjo for a few years, and they traded. So it's possible that the reason they put the Granada on Don Reno's was that he played the same banjo that Earl owned, and then he also played an RB75 banjo. Okay, so that's what that looks like, and we can go up the fingerboard and we'll see the normal kind of fancy inlays there, a custom pattern. Once again, this is the custom shop, so I guess it would be a custom pattern. We go up to the headstock, and you'll notice that, okay, that's probably the only headstock that looks like that in the world. Okay, now, here we go. Here's the Reno and Smiley. Look at that. And I was thinking, well, why didn't they make 10 of these? 10 banjos, meaning 10 different people. But basically, those were the 4 people that led bluegrass, and everyone else, all the other great stars, are people that came as a second wave to the bluegrass. So that's it, and we're glad that we can share this with you. And if you like these videos, go ahead and hit your subscribe button. And that's it. So we'll talk to you guys later and have a great day.